Alrighty. Good morning. Thanks for coming to the OpenStack Chef status meeting. We missed last week's meeting. I was away at DockerCon. Sorry about that. Lots of interesting things happened at DockerCon, but probably not a whole lot that's applicable just yet. The Nova Docker stuff is very much coming back. Eric Windish is still working on that. And if you want Docker back in your Nova stuff, you can go get that and patch it in. On the Chef side of things with Docker, we have a new project that is on GitHub. We haven't announced it yet, but it's called Chef Container. So if you're using Docker, it actually, instead of treating your Docker instances like a VM where we SSH in and configure it, it actually it's an omnibus package that slips in through the installer. It slips an installer in through the Docker file as a tarball that contains the Chef client. It also contains, right now it's run it, but it's moving to systemd. So systemd would run as your PID1, and it would run the Chef client. And then there's a Ruby gem that adds a new Chef resource called container resource or container service, and it actually intercepts calls to if you were using like upstart or initd or something like that, it intercepts those and rewrites them into systemd, so you can move your existing like OpenStack workloads or bare metal workloads or Rackspace workloads into Docker with no changes to your cookbooks, which is pretty slick. No changes to your run list either. You just have to have, right now it's moving to attributes. So you just have an attribute that lists the services that need to get managed by systemd. So it's going to be slick. It's going to be awesome if you're into Docker. And some OpenStack stuff would actually make a lot of sense to move in there. So we'll see how that plays out. And the Chef container stuff, I plan on digging into that and reusing that on the Heat front end. So that way we don't have to have Heat images that you SSH in to configure them. So DockerCon, that was fun. The infra ticket to get the 3 new cookbooks added went through like early this morning. It's just been sitting there. Last week I put a ping on it like, hey, what's up with this? And I got some more +1s, but then it finally got a bunch of +2s overnight, and Jenkins picked it up, and those repos are now live. If someone wants to go and start putting the scaffolding in, they can. If no one volunteers, I'll probably do it in the next day or two. Just put it in like README, Rubocop, maybe a default that doesn't do anything, recipe, just some of the basic scaffolding, metadata, just to make it an actual cookbook and not just a GitHub project with a Git review file. So that's there. Any of y'all plan on jumping on that real soon?
I saw that they went in, but I'm not going to have any time this week, I don't think.
Sure. Yeah. So the Trove and Sahara and Chef client. The Chef client will probably be of interest to me, or at least on the Heat side, like I said, with the containers. So that's there. What else? I don't have a ton of new news. There have been a couple of mailing list posts from IONET. I responded to one. Somebody who has a strong opinion on the database stuff should definitely respond. So speak of the devil. He just said he's going to put his Trove cookbook in, and I will say thank you very much. Trove will get a good jump start, and hopefully someone will start digging into Sahara too. So that's all the OpenStack stuff I have. Anybody want to bring anything else up? Because I got a little bit of chef news, but
Just to comment about that, that timeout stuff in the gate job has kind of been
Yeah.
interesting. We got to bump to 60, but I made some changes to the orchestration recipe, the cookbook, just to kind of clean up some of those specs. It's still taking, like it's timing out after an hour, and on my little laptop here, it only takes like 10 minutes to run. So I'm not understanding what's going on there yet. So, but that's not that I really want to understand what.
Yeah, you just want it to work.
Yeah, I got enough to play with. So,
Right.
but it is interesting. If there's some other way we could make things better or worse with our spec test, I'd like to know. I'd like to be educated, but
Right.
if not, maybe there's something else we're hitting. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I mean, that is so. I do have a head count for a full-time chef OpenStack guy, and one of the first things I'm going to put him on is testing. And going through the testing story and seeing if there's any easy wins, or if putting, he's going to spend time making sure all this stuff gets full attention, because to me that's just like, there's no reason it takes so long. That's unconscionable. And if we have to move out of, if we have to move some of it out of StackForge, we could do that. We can move some of it into Travis even. I mean, it's all up on GitHub. We might mix and match where we run these tests if we have to. Because Travis works. Yeah, we use it for a lot of stuff. I mean, sometimes the turnaround is a few minutes, but I've got, well, now that I think about it, I mean, I have another project that runs through Travis, and the tests, they take 45 seconds on my laptop, and it takes about 8 minutes to spin everything up on Travis. But that's actually like pulling down Ruby gems, and
Right.
so it's pretty fast. And my project is doing RuboCop and RSpec, but it also runs 3 tests in parallel on different architectures and platforms. So that's kind of nice. So we'll continues to be a problem. We'll continue to get investigated, I guess, is the poor answer I have.
Yeah, I guess it's more of a, I'd like to kind of know more about, if there's something in the how we're setting up our specs somehow that we could do better. It'd be interesting to know if we're missing something, that we're, going down a path that's forcing it to be slow. But it doesn't seem that way. But
Yeah, it doesn't seem that way. But I don't have the cycles myself to dig into it. But like I said, when I get my full-time, testing and documentation are going to be his bread and butter, or her.
Okay.
But
Good, yeah.
So
speaking of tests, the other thing that happened out there, I saw the integration test cookbook got some meat to it today or yesterday, whatever it was. So
good.
that looked really good. So I think that's a good start. Anyway, I need to dig in a little more, figure out. I've done enough with Tempest to get myself in trouble. That's about it so far. So Tempest seems like quite a beast to try to get your arms around, and for certain things. So and especially on Red Hat.
So they're submitted reviews for it?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's nothing in StackForge yet, so maybe I'll try to find some time to do some reviews here.
Yeah, someone put a first run at it in review.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, I think that's a really good start. Yep. Right.
Good. I will go do some reviews. The backlog's not even big. Good job. What else? There was yet another Chef point release thanks to OpenSSL. Last week, I guess was when that was, or whenever. I think there's 11.12.8 on the client, or I think that's right, on the client. There are very few changes. I think in the 11.12 series, I think it's just been OpenSSL fixes and one Chef Zero version bump as a dependency. So that's not a big deal.
I was going to mention on that the Chef stuff. I finally got my first patch out in the Chef community.
Woohoo!
There was a Yum timeout issue that one of our teams was running into. So I took a look at it. It's basically just, it was a hard-coded number buried deep inside Chef somewhere. So I made it extra big. Not
Yeah.
exactly a fancy patch, but it got the job done. What I was curious about is how do I track that from it's been merged? How do I track that from being merged to be what release it's in? Is there a way I can track that, or I just have to go look at the release notes when they grab things?
When they triage the tickets, do you have the number?
3193, I think. I have to double check. Pretty sure that's it.
Chef 3193. Okay, so in there, resolution unresolved, fixed versions none. So it looks like it hasn't been triaged yet. So what'll happen is wow, this 31, yeah, that's an old one.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
an old one, and I said they said they merged it on the on the GitHub side. They pulled my request in, but
okay,
I was like,
good.
okay, what does that mean?
So I'm tracking that down, and then so there's your pull request. So Claire, did she merge it already? Yep. So Claire merged it, and it went into master. So I think they're preparing a 11.14 for soon, and I think it'll be in there. They'll go through and it'll be listed in the release notes. Usually they
Okay.
clean up the tickets before they do that. So probably they have a weekly like ticket scrub or twice a week ticket scrub on chef tickets and pull requests, and at some point they'll like fix the history of like tagging things so you can start to see what's going into the next release. But
Okay,
there will be a new release at least in the next month.
It was a interesting process to go through. I've never done one of those before, so that was kind of cool.
Cool. Yeah, we're actually making a move to move most of the ticketing all out into GitHub, and slowly, like, we've got the labels as you can see on that ticket, the CLA verified, ready for merge. So we're trying to move things out of our ticketing and move them out onto GitHub so they have even more visibility. I think the chef project is where they're like starting with that. The cookbooks will take a while too, or actually maybe the cookbooks already did it. So people didn't like our ticketing. They didn't like using Jira. Everyone likes GitHub, so we're trying to give the community what they want. So.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. I just got pinged in HipChat. Not about OpenStack. Okay. Anything else? Okay. YouTube is a 30-second delay, so that's funny. I don't really have anything else. Like I said, there will be chef releases on the client and server probably within the next month. Yeah, definitely. And anything else? I think aren't there a bunch of OpenStack folks headed to San Antonio this week for a load balancing as a service mini summit?
I believe so.
Yeah. I believe Craig Tracy's going to be in San Antonio. So.
Oh, nice. I'll have to hit him when he's here.
Yeah. Anyway, well, that's all I have for today. If there's anything else I can do, you know where to find me. IRC, HipChat, or not HipChat. IRC, email, wherever you need me. Talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.